What up? It's your girl, Trisha. It's been a hot minute since I've filmed anything. Heck, y'all, like, wowza. It's been a while. I know I said that I was gonna film more in July, and then I, didn't. And then I also said that I was gonna film some things in August, and I didn't. So, yeah, it's been a hot minute since I filmed. I am back, maybe? I am known in my friend group as the girl who has some pretty strange dreams. So I figured what better content than to just tell you guys my dreams, like a little story. So that's what I'm going to do. This first one is a double-parter, only because the one dream shifted into the other dream. All of my friends have definitely heard this dream, but I was told by my lovely friend Scarlett that I should definitely tell this story before I forget it. First part of the dream, which the two parts don't correlate at all to each other, but there was a very weird shift into the one. So, yeah. Okay, so first part, I was at work. So I work at a shoe store. And in my dream, we were closed and we were cleaning up. It was me and another girl. And I found a plastic toy spider. So to be hilarious, I threw it at Cassandra. And she looked at me and went, ah ha ha, very funny. And kind of flicked it away. And all of a sudden we heard like this very loud, like, but more like a scuttling. And we looked over to where the spider was, and the fake spider was moving up to the front. So I followed it, because I don't know, that's what you do. By the time I got up to the front, I wasn't at work anymore. I was in this room that we call the hole at the acreage. In the hole, there's a bed here, like against the one wall, and a bed here against the other wall, like two single beds. But in this dream, the single bed that was like this way was more in the middle, so instead of an L, it was like a T. Anyway, so the spider walked around the one bed that was in the middle and climbed up, and when it got to the top, it was my cat, Fred. I'm confused. Anyway, so I sat on the bed and I'm like, oh hey buddy, what are you doing here? Hey, it's been a while, I love you, I miss you. And he looked at me. And he looked at me dead in the eye and said, there's a post office guy. Ooh, we got mail. And he looked at me dead in the eye and said, I missed you. I was like, what? That was English? Why was that English? So anyway, I was like, oh buddy, I missed you too. It's so good to see you. And he's like, I've decided I'm moving wherever you live. I'm like, okay, I don't know if that'll work. And he's like, I've been trying to tell your parents since you moved that I want to move with you. And so I looked at him like, did you speak English? He said, no, I'm a cat. I've been meowing every night. And I'm like, you're speaking English to me now. Like, what? I'm confused. He's like, whatever. Walk with me. And I'm like, okay, so we walk, and we walk out of the hole doors, which is just a curtain, but whatever. We walk out of the hole doors and into like this desert market. And as we're walking, I'm like looking around like, where'd Fred go? Like, he's gone. He's just disappeared. And I turn around because somebody touches my back, and I turn around and there's Tom Hiddleston. And I'm like, hello. And he's like, shh, it's me, Fred. I'm like, no, what is happening? And he's like, I've seen this guy on your phone, so I figured, you know him, so you must, it's fine. I can just, be this person. And I'm like, so you can shape shift now. Cool. Sure. So he's like, I'm going to disguise myself and I'll get a job and I'll pay for everything I need. All the treats, all the cat litter, all of everything, I'll pay. I'll even pay rent if you want. And I'm like, okay. If you really want to move down with me, Fred, I mean, like, I'm all for it. Like, He's like, okay. And then we walk through this restaurant, and as we walk out the back doors, I'm in a different dream. completely different dream. And this dream is equally as strange. You'll understand how that's a pun later on. So, in this dream, I am hanging out at Thor's house. Not Chris Hemsworth's house, Thor's house. With his wife and kids. His wife's name is Jane, but his wife is clearly his, like, Mrs. Hemsworth. And his kids are clearly the tiny little Hemsworth children. So I'm like, okay, cool. This is like normal. Like, it's a normal thing for me to be hanging out with these people. So it's Thor, Jane, who's actually Mrs. Hemsworth. There's 2 kids. I don't know how many kids Chris Hemsworth had, 2 or 3. There's 2 kids, and Doctor Strange, and Thor's mother-in-law, and me. So there's like 7 people in the house. And we're just kind of like hanging out and living our lives, and I decided to go for a walk, but I didn't know that Thor and Jane went for a walk. So, we are walking, and I'm walking behind them, and all of a sudden something falls from the sky. And when it lands, Mrs. Hemsworth, or Jane, wants to go and see what it is, but Thor is pretty certain it's a bomb. And it hasn't gone off yet, and I'm walking behind it, overhearing them. And so I walk up to them, and I'm like, well, maybe just in case it is a bomb, we should evacuate. And Thor's like,
that is a good idea.
And I'm like, okay. So we leave. We go back into the house, and we're like, okay, everybody, we gotta go. So we all pile into this 6-seater, it's not even a 6-seater, it's like a 5-seater vehicle that Thor has. Doctor Strange and I are sitting in the trunk. Why we're not just using Doctor Strange as like sling ring teleportation devices, I don't know. But whatever. And we go to the airport. Like, we've packed and we go to the airport. So when we're at the airport, Thor's like,
I must disguise myself. Nobody can know I am Thor.
And we're like, all right, but like Doctor Strange is fine. Whatever. So we go into this corner, and Thor disguises himself, like, with magic or something, into Stan Lee, and he pretends to be his mother-in-law's, oh, by the way, his mother-in-law was like Granny from Beverly Hillbillies, but like the movie one. Cloris Leachman, Granny in the Beverly Hillbillies. Stan Lee is now Cloris Leachman's wife. Cloris Leachman's husband. And and the thing is, obviously in this world, Thor exists. So Stan Lee wouldn't be famous for doing the Thor comics and like the Marvel comics, because everyone in those comics exist. But he was famous for it. Everyone was like, oh my gosh, I love your comics. I love your Marvel comics. They're the best. My favorite superhero is Iron Man. And I'm like, what is happening right now? I didn't know, like, that in a different universe this was a thing. I just, like, knew this guy was famous. I was like, why'd you choose to be this person? You thought you wanted to be under the radar. Anyway, he looks at me, and we're at the airport, and he doesn't know where we're going yet. He's like,
Trisha, where should we go? Where is somewhere safe?
I'm like, I don't know, man. Like, Alberta, Edmonton, where I grew up? Sure, let's do that. So we get some tickets to fly to Edmonton while Thor sends S.H.I.E.L.D. to go deal with the bomb. What? What is happening in my dream? Anyway, so we get to Edmonton, and my parents are staying in my grandmother's room. My grandma and aunt don't live there anymore. I don't know where they are. They're alive, apparently. But they don't live there anymore. Cloris Leachman ends up staying in my old room, which is upstairs, because she's old, so clearly they don't want her walking the stairs. The kids end up staying in the hole. Thor and Jane, who's Mrs. Hemsworth, are staying in my aunt's room, which is right beside my parents' old room, which is where me and Doctor Strange are staying. Now here's the kicker. I look at Doctor Strange and I'm like, hey, just a warning, I tend to cuddle in my sleep because we were sharing the same bed. And he's like, oh, that's alright, I guess, as long as, like, it's not weird between you and Loki. Oh yeah, did I mention that apparently in my dream I'm dating Loki? But he's not in the dream. We don't know where he is. In fact, I look at him and I said, oh no, don't worry. I don't even know where Loki is at the moment. For all I know, he's off screwing a horse. Now, I'm sorry for you friends of mine who are like, Trisha, don't say that. In Norse mythology, as a punishment, Loki got turned into a female horse and got impregnated. Gave birth to a eight-legged horse. Yeah. So anyway, after that wonderful bit of the conversation, I look at Doctor Strange and I'm like, hey, do you want to watch a TV show? He's like, sure. So I put on Reba, I hop into bed, I literally don't waste 2 seconds and I'm cuddling with him. And he looks into me and he's like, what? And I'm like, I'm sorry, is this strange? And then I woke up. Those are probably the 2 weirdest dreams I've ever had as of yet. I feel like there's gonna be weirder. I've had tons of really weird dreams and they're always happening. So if you liked this video and if you liked this dream series, give it a thumbs up, comment, let me know, you know, if you liked it. There'll be a video over here for you to watch and a subscribe button over here for you to know when I upload. Hopefully it'll be more regularly than, you know, it has been. Bye.